If you want a plant that is beautiful, low maintenance, and drought resistant, Vinca is the one for you. Today we're going to be planting some. We're going to also take a look at how to have them grow in containers and flower beds. We'll take a look at some of the few pests and diseases that may bother this plant and ones that make excellent companions for it. And if you've never been here before, my name is Marlene. Welcome to my home and garden channel. So Madagascar periwinkle, or Vinca, is a beautiful flowering plant that flowers from mid-spring right through to mid-fall. And as you can see, they come in many beautiful colors over here. And they're just a wonderful plant to have in your garden. And these are some flats that were being sold at my local garden center. They're not to be confused with Vinca minor, which has a trailing habit and is very, very aggressive in your garden. So be sure to make the distinction between them. So over here, they typically grow about 12 to 24 inches at the most in height and sometimes in width as well too. They are annuals, so they will go down in the winter and you'll have to plant new seeds or new transplants the following season. If you're in growing zones 10, 11 or higher, then they're short-lived perennials there. And you can grow them in containers like I was saying, and these are some that I did here, one by itself and the other one with similar, plants with similar needs. And just to show you in more detail, I had this Calibrachoa over here. Very, very beautiful. And it also needs full sun like the periwinkle or the Vinca. We have some marigold in the center there. And you can see the Vinca is at the back. Spiller, thriller, and filler. And look over here, guys. This is a beautiful arrangement here over in this flower bed. This has some caladiums, those heart-shaped leaf ones. And we have some fan flower at the front right here. And of course, our Vinca is right there. And bear in mind, guys, whenever you're planting them, they like full sun. So put them with plants that also like full sun, even if they're not as drought tolerant. Over here, you can see they're being combined with coleus, the beautiful, that kind of burgundy color at the back would be the coleus right there. And they're right in front. And they also have some ornamental grasses growing next to them. So they kind of offer a little bit of shade to these plants, which is great. Over here, this is so, so gorgeous. These are pretty much the different pink types that they have, and they're in different combinations. Some have pink in the middle, lighter pink outside, white in the middle, dark pink outside. There's just so many different options. And I think this is a beautiful arrangement right here. You can tell me what you think. Also, you can grow them with ornamental grasses like they did in this container right here. They have the white ones with the pink center and the ornamental grass at the back. And again, that's because, they're pretty drought resistant, so they combine well with plants like that. So let's go ahead and get some planted today. So over here, this would be my Vinca right here, also known as a periwinkle, Madagascar periwinkle. And we have some marigolds right there. These were 4-inch containers. And this, by the way, was a previous growing season because I wanted to show you the process from start until what it looks like at the end of the season. And we have the Calibrachoa over there. So you can see that the color that I chose is kind of like to tie everything together, the pinks and the oranges and a little bit of white in there as well too. But of course you can mix and match however you would like to. And this is a soil combination that I use right here, and not any specific brand. You can use whatever one you like. But because I'm doing these in a container, I have potting mix. I have some composted brown cow there, or black cow I should say. And we also have some garden soil. 1-1-1 combination, just to show you, how heavy each one is, that you need to have the soil of a certain combination. Or you could just use all potting soil if you like. The main thing is to have it light and fluffy, because we do need to have, that good drainage in the soil. And I have some mulch over here. That would be cypress mulch that I was using at that time. So we're going to go ahead and start off first with our Vinca right here. And this is our thriller plant in here, like I was saying before, meaning it's going to be taller. It's going to pull your eye in. And they're usually very dramatic, very colorful, just something spectacular about them. And this, like I was saying also, that this plant is, it gets wider. The more you pinch it back, is the wider it gets up to a certain point. So you can do that, like after it's fully established, to get some more, area coverage out of it. And I'm just going in here and adding in the soil over the top because, again, guys, you know, the soil that they come in the garden centers is not enough to sustain them. So you have to cover the top of it to make sure that it is going to retain the moisture well enough. And then over here, these are some marigolds. They're not as drought resistant, but they do like full sun, and they, you know, can tolerate a fair amount of dryness as well too. So I thought it was a fairly good combination to add in here. And also, it also helps to keep away certain pests and diseases, you know, kind of like the companion planting that we talk about time and time again in my videos. So this I thought was a very good one. And I just like the color combination as well. And of course, you always want to free up your roots a little bit so they'll spread out a little bit more easily and not just be bound in that, you know, same shape for the entire growing season. Because I've seen that happen before where someone planted them out, they didn't free them up, and you know, in the fall, they just pull them up and they still have the same shape. So we're just going in and covering them with the soil right here. And if you're liking this video so far, be sure to give it a thumbs up. It sends a good message out so that others will get to see the video as well. And typically, you know, I try to get my plants not too large. One, because it saves you money. You know, the smaller they are, the less they're going to cost you. But it also is wonderful to just watch and see, you know, what happens when you start it and you see the progression as they get larger and more beautiful in your garden. So I prefer to do that. If you're trying to get a quick burst of color, though, of course, you can get larger sizes so you can have a quicker turnaround time on that. But this is what I prefer. And if you're just using potting soil alone, they typically have a fair amount of fertilizer in there that will last up to 6 months. But you can also add in some compost, you know, like I did earlier, and that will work for you as well too. And of course, you can also do fast release, you know, plant food as well, like water them like every 2 weeks. And there are different types that you can use, you know, whichever one you prefer. So once I planted them out, I went in and I made sure to give them a nice good soak. And of course, you always want to make sure that your container has holes in the bottom. It's essential because most plants will not be able to survive if they have, you know, like wet feet, as we call it. You know, they're soaking wet all the time. They have to dry out to get some air in there. Just like most living organisms, they need a lot of oxygen. And so when it dries out, the air comes in a little bit, they get to breathe the right way, and then you water them again and they get going. So, you know, be sure to put holes in the bottom of your containers. And then over here, once I've watered them, I'm going in and I'm adding in some mulch. And I love using mulch on my plants because, you know, it helps to reduce weeds. And in the summertime, it helps to keep them, you know, the moisture. It retains the moisture so they don't dry out as quickly. And since we're talking about more drought tolerant type plants, we want to give them all the help that they need so that they start off really well. And, you know, that's going to help them along their way. And you can use whatever kind you like. I typically recommend anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of thickness of your mulch. And be sure to water it when you've put it on there, because if you don't, you'll find the following day it's going to pull the moisture away and your plant is going to be flopping over and looking really sad. So be sure to give it a nice good soak as well, so that way your plant is going to have everything that it needs to move on to the next stage. And you can press it on a little bit, you know, a little lightly to make sure that everything fits in nicely. And of course, again, always make sure that the water is going right through. So you can see it running from the bottom, so you know it has a really good soak, so everything is fine for you there. We'll be taking a look at pests and diseases. They don't have that many, but we'll still take a look at, you know, the possibilities that can happen and how to take care of them further down in the video. So be sure to keep watching. And I just wanted to take a moment to invite you to subscribe to my channel and to hit the notification bell twice so you never miss an upload. I do lots of gardening topics, tips, and tours, and we have a community of gardeners here. We love to exchange ideas and to encourage each other along. And when you're planting them in flower beds, guys, it's important that you space them out. So you typically want to do anywhere from 10 to, I would say, about 18 inches apart, so they have enough space to spread out. Now, as far as the watering needs go, typically once they're established, you will want to be watering these plants maybe twice per week. If it's really, really high, like maybe say upper 90s and perhaps even in the hundreds, maybe 3 times per week, because you don't want to be watering them every day. They should not need that. Once you put the right soil in there and you put your mulch on, then that should be good enough to keep them going. But still keep an eye on them just to see how they are doing. And sometimes it may not even so much be the case of how the vinca is doing, but how are the other plants around it doing. So you'll want to take a look at the other things there as well too, to see how they're performing, so you'll know. This right here is a beautiful fan flower. I think the color is so gorgeous, and I just love this combination right here. The purple with that fuchsia pink kind of color, and then that kind of a, it's not like a fire engine red, that kind of a, toned down red color. I think they all combine so well together. You can tell me what you think about that one. These ones over here, I just love how the colors, it's just, this is kind of monochromatic, I would say, because they're basically in the pink zone is what I would say, but just the way they did it is wonderful. And these plants, they really don't need deadheading. This is just me, make sure it's extra tidy for a previous video that I did talking about drought tolerant plants. But you really don't need to deadhead them. They basically take care of themselves with that. Now, towards the end of the season, they kind of look like this, and it's natural. It's a part of the cycle, so don't worry about it. You'll just get seeds and plant again. Now we're going to take a look at pests and diseases. And like most plants, you may find aphids on them sometimes, whiteflies, and perhaps spider mites. So if that is happening with your vinca, you can use an insecticidal soap like this one. This is not sponsored. This is just one that I use from time to time. Some people, and sometimes I've done it too, I'll make my own insecticidal soap using like Dawn and baking soda and vinegar mixture together. So it just depends on what you prefer to use. But just be sure to inspect your plants to make sure that's not happening, and try to get in as early as you can. As far as diseases go, they can have gray mold, powdery mildew, or blight. And like powdery mildew, those are an easy fix. You can just spray them with, I use a 3% solution of hydrogen peroxide on mine, but you have different types of fungicides. But like the blight, for example, if it's gotten to your plant, in most cases, you're going to have to take it up and plant something else where it was, not something in the same family either, just to make sure that it doesn't spread. It's very difficult to get rid of it. So the best way to do that is avoidance, where you don't plant them too close together, because they want to have proper air circulation. So that way it reduces the possibility of getting fungal type diseases. But it's a wonderful plant to have. It is pretty low maintenance. These are extreme cases when this happens. So I would say plant some vinca today if you can, if you're considering it. And, just enjoy your garden. This is going to take you from mid-spring right through to mid-fall. So it's very long lasting, and it doesn't, need a lot from you. So I hope this encourages you to get some if you've never tried it before. And of course, you can do them from seeds if you like. It's going to take a longer time. You have to start them indoors 6 weeks before your last frost day. But outside of that, they're pretty much good to go. They come up very quickly, and I enjoyed having them. So thank you so much for watching. Happy gardening, and I do hope to see you in the next video. Take care.